Admiral Woo Jin Kim stood alone on the observation deck of the UES Indomitable. Beyond the armored glass, Earth floated like a brilliant blue jewel against the endless darkness of space. Then the stars began to disappear. One after another, brilliant tiers of blue-white light ripped open the vacuum. Quantum tunnels. Each flash announced the arrival of another human warship. A destroyer emerged first. Then two heavy cruisers. A carrier nearly 5 kilometers long. Moments later, entire battle groups poured from hyperspace in perfect formation. The empty space around Earth transformed into an ocean of steel. Thousands of engines ignited simultaneously, painting the darkness with rivers of blue fire. Some of the vessels were familiar designs. Others had never been seen outside humanity's deepest military vaults. Ships so advanced that even most governments on Earth didn't know they existed. Admiral Kim watched them assemble without saying a word. For years, this moment had existed only in classified simulations. Now it was reality. Behind him, Captain So-Young Park approached, holding a tactical data tablet. "Status report, Captain." Her fingers moved across the holographic display. "Sir, 647 vessels have completed formation." She looked up. "The remaining 200 are exiting quantum space and will rendezvous at the staging point within 41 minutes. Kim nodded once. "Excellent." He turned back toward the window. For 50 years, humanity had prepared for this day, not in public, not where alien observers could see. Entire shipyards had been hidden beneath the moon's far side. Automated factories mined and assembled warships deep inside the asteroid belt. Research stations drifted silently beyond Pluto, invisible to every known surveillance network. While the rest of the galaxy believed humanity was still learning how to travel between stars, Earth had quietly built something else. A fleet. Not merely large, not merely powerful, but designed to fight civilizations thousands of years older than itself. Captain Park broke the silence. "Do you think they suspected anything?" Kim allowed himself the faintest smile. "They underestimated us." His eyes never left the growing fleet. "That's a mistake history keeps repeating." An alert chimed across the bridge. Dr. Min-Ho Lee, the fleet's chief intelligence officer, appeared beside a massive holographic projector. "Admiral, I'm receiving updated intelligence on the Krovar Empire." Kim walked toward the tactical display. "What do we know?" The hologram expanded, revealing the image of a terrifying alien warship surrounded by thousands of smaller vessels. The Krovar are a hive-mind civilization. Thousands of glowing neural links connected every ship on the display. Individual Krovar possess only basic intelligence. He enlarged several biological diagrams. But each fleet is controlled by specialized war commanders. They coordinate millions of soldiers simultaneously. They don't think as individuals, they think as one. Captain Park folded her arms. "So we eliminate the commanders." Dr. Lee nodded. "Exactly." He changed the display again. Enemy formations filled the room. The Krovar rely on overwhelming numbers. They advance in massive waves. They sacrifice ships without hesitation. They don't retreat. They don't negotiate. They simply consume. Kim studied the tactical projections. "What about strategy?" Dr. Lee's expression became thoughtful. "Their doctrine hasn't changed in nearly 8,000 years. They overwhelm every opponent through sheer force. They expect fear. They expect confusion. They expect weaker civilizations to collapse before the battle truly begins." A quiet smile appeared on the Admiral's face. "And how do they perform against our simulations?" The room fell silent. Dr. Lee hesitated for only a moment before answering. He activated another hologram. Hundreds of simulated battles appeared across the room. Green icons represented humanity. Red represented the Krovar Empire. One after another, the simulations ended the same way. Human victory. Again, and again, and again. Captain Park stared at the results. "They never adapted." Dr. Lee slowly nodded. "The Krovar have spent thousands of years fighting civilizations that feared them." He looked directly at the Admiral. "They've never fought humans." Kim turned back toward the observation window. Nearly 800 warships now surrounded Earth. Their formation stretched across thousands of kilometers, a wall of steel protecting humanity's home. He took a slow breath. "The galaxy believes this fleet exists to defend Earth." His voice was calm. But Earth was never the objective. The officers exchanged uneasy glances. Kim looked toward the stars. It's time humanity stopped preparing for war and started ending one. Outside, the UES Indomitable activated its engines. One by one, the rest of the fleet followed. Nearly 850 human warships accelerated together, vanishing into quantum space in a blaze of blue light. Across the galaxy, an empire that had conquered hundreds of worlds was about to discover a terrifying truth. Humans had never feared monsters. They had simply been waiting long enough to become one. Their ships are larger than ours, but they rely on simple weapons: plasma cannons, missile swarms, ramming attacks. Nothing we haven't prepared for. And the peaceful herbivores. Advanced technology, but no weapons. They've lived in harmony for thousands of years. Wu Jin studied the data. Humans had spent centuries fighting wars. They knew every trick, every strategy, every way to destroy an enemy. The Krovar had only fought peaceful species who couldn't fight back. Send word to all ship commanders. Full briefing in 1 hour. An hour later, 847 captains appeared as holograms on the Indomitable's main deck. Wu Jun looked at each face. These were Earth's best commanders, trained in every form of warfare. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is humanity's first contact with alien life. The galaxy will judge us by what we do in the next few days." He activated the display showing space. The Krovar Empire has destroyed dozens of worlds. They're now attacking a peaceful species that asked the galaxy for help. 46 other civilizations received this distress call. None of them sent military aid. Captain Wan Yu raised his hand. "Sir, what are our rules of engagement?" "Simple. Stop the genocide. Protect the innocent. Show the galaxy what humans do when evil thinks it can act freely." "What about prisoners?" asked Commander Suni Kang. "We follow the Geneva Conventions even in space. Any Krovar who surrenders will be treated properly. But anyone participating in genocide," Wu Jin's voice grew cold. "Well, they'll learn why Earth is called a death world." The briefing continued for 2 hours. Battle plans, supply lines, emergency protocols. Every detail was covered. When it ended, the human fleet began its jump to space. 800 light-years away, Dune watched the first world burn. His ships had destroyed 3 outer colonies in 2 days. The aliens hadn't even tried to fight back. War Commander called his communications officer. "We're receiving transmissions from the remaining worlds. More begging." "Yes, sir. They're asking us to spare their children." Du-Hun felt nothing. The Krover Empire needed these worlds for expansion. The current inhabitants were just obstacles to be removed. Ignore their transmissions. Begin the assault on their core worlds. 500 Krover ships moved toward the heart of Anani space. Dohi expected to finish the genocide within a week. On the homeworld, Tammen watched the approaching fleet. Sububin sat beside him, both of them accepting their fate. "Any word from our distress signal?" Subin asked. "Medical supplies are still arriving. The Dorit sent enough food for 1 million people. That's kind of them." "Yes, but we have 12 billion people on this world alone." Subin looked at the scanner. "The Krovar will be here in 18 hours. Tammen kept monitoring the deep space sensors, hoping for a miracle. The long-range scanner showed nothing but empty space beyond their system. Then something changed. "Subin, look at this." A small blip appeared on the edge of their sensor range, then another, then 10 more. "Probably more Krovar ships," Subin said sadly. But Timeen was studying the sensor readings more carefully. "No, these are different. Wrong size, wrong energy signatures." More blips appeared. "Dozens, then hundreds. That's impossible," Subin whispered. "No one has fleets that large." The blips were moving fast, much faster than Krovar ships could travel, and they were coming from the direction of the outer spiral arm, where the dangerous death worlds were located. "Taymen," Subin's voice was shaking. "How many ships is that?" He counted the sensor contacts again. 847. "Who sends 800 ships to help strangers?" Before Tammen could answer, his communication board lit up. An incoming message on the same frequency they had used for their distress call. "This is Admiral Wu Jin Kim of the United Earth Defense Force. We received your distress signal. We are here to help. Tammin stared at the message. Earth? That's the Death World in System 47, the one where the violent primitives live. Apparently, they're not primitive. Another message came through. Ani forces, please respond. We need tactical information about the Krovar fleet. Subin activated the transmitter with shaking hands. This is the Confederation. We can't believe you came. We couldn't ignore your call for help. How long until the Krovar reach your homeworld? 17 hours. Understood. We'll be there in 6. The transmission ended. Tammin and Subin looked at each other in amazement. Did the humans just say they'll be here in 6 hours? Subin asked. That's impossible. They'd have to travel faster than light. But the sensors didn't lie. The human fleet was moving at incredible speed using some kind of technology that they had never seen. Word spread quickly through Vani space. The species that everyone thought were primitive warriors had received their cry for help, and instead of sending medical supplies or food, they had sent their entire military on the Krovar command ship. Du Hyun received reports of the approaching fleet. War Commander, unknown ships are approaching from the outer rim. How many? Over 800, sir. Du was confused. No species had fleets that large. The Krovar Empire was the strongest military force in the galaxy. What species? Unknown, sir. They're using technology we don't recognize. Ignore them. Probably another peaceful species trying to negotiate. Focus on destroying the Vani worlds. But as the hours passed, more reports came in. The unknown ships were fast, heavily armed, and organized with military precision that the Krovar had never encountered. War Commander, his tactical officer called. The unknown fleet has sent us a message. Put it through. A human face appeared on the screen. Du Hyun had never seen this species before, but something about the human's eyes made him uncomfortable. This is Admiral Woo Jin Kim of Earth. You are ordered to withdraw from Vani space immediately. Any Krovar ships that continue attacking civilian targets will be destroyed. Du Hyun laughed. Another peaceful species trying to negotiate. Send a reply. This is War Commander Dohi of the Krovar Empire. You have no authority here. Leave or be destroyed. With the human's expression didn't change. You have 1 hour to begin withdrawing. After that, we will show you why the galaxy calls Earth a death world. The transmission ended. Duhan wasn't worried. His 500 ships had destroyed dozens of worlds. These humans, whoever they were, would learn that the Krovar Empire was not to be challenged. He had no idea that humans had been preparing for this moment for 50 years, or that Earth's definition of warfare was very different from anything the galaxy had ever seen. The human fleet dropped out of quantum tunnels at the edge of Vani space like a storm made of metal and fire. 847 ships appeared in perfect formation, their weapons already charging. Tammin watched his sensors in amazement. The human ships were smaller than Krovar vessels, but they moved with precision that took his breath away. Every ship knew exactly where to be. Subin, are you seeing this? The humans arranged their fleet in 6 minutes. It takes our ships an hour just to organize a parade formation. On the UES Indomitable, Admiral Woo Jin Kim studied the tactical display. Captain So Young Park stood beside him, coordinating with the fleet commanders. Status report. Captain, all ships in position. Admiral. Sensor sweeps show 512 Krovar vessels. They're spread across 7 different attack groups. Dr. Minhoy looked up from his station. Admiral, I'm receiving communication requests from multiple worlds. Put them through. The main screen filled with alien faces. Tammin appeared first, his 6 eyes wide with hope and fear. Admiral Kim, we cannot thank you enough for coming, but the Krovar have weapons that can destroy entire cities. Ambassador Yunjum stepped forward. She had spent years preparing for first contact, but never imagined it would happen during a war. I am Ambassador Nam. We are here to help your people, but we need information about Krovar tactics and capabilities. Another appeared on screen. This was Dawoon, a young scientist from the outer colonies. The Krovar don't use tactics like you do. They just attack with everything at once. Their ships are tough, but slow. They depend on their numbers. How do they treat prisoners? Asked Ambassador Nam. They don't take prisoners, Dawoon said quietly. Every world they attack becomes silent. No survivors. The bridge of the Indomitable was quiet for a moment. Admiral Kim looked at his officers. They had all read the reports, but hearing it directly made it real. Admiral called Commander Ji Ho Shin from the communication station. The Krovar commander is requesting to speak with us. Put him through. Du Hyun's image appeared on screen. The Crovar war commander was massive, covered in black armor with red eyes that showed no emotion. I am War Commander Du Han. You have interfered with illegal military operation of the Crovar Empire. Withdraw immediately or face destruction. Admiral Kim stepped forward. I am Admiral Woo Jin Kim of Earth. You are committing genocide against innocent people. You have one final chance to withdraw peacefully. Earth? Du Han seemed confused. My databases show Earth as a primitive death world. You cannot have the technology for interstellar war. Your databases are wrong. Du Han laughed, a harsh sound that made the Oncrene flinch. I command 500 ships that have conquered dozens of worlds. You are outnumbered. Numbers aren't everything. Prove it, human. The transmission ended. Admiral Kim turned to Captain Park. All ships, battle stations, execute Plan Alpha. The human fleet moved like a single organism. Instead of charging straight at the crowbar formation, they split into multiple groups that attacked from different angles. Du Hyun watched the human tactics with growing confusion. Most species either ran away or charged directly at his ships. These humans were doing something completely different. War Commander, the human fleet is separating into smaller groups. Good. We can destroy them one group at a time. But as the first human ships entered weapons range, Dune realized he had made a terrible mistake. The human weapons were unlike anything he had ever seen. Instead of the simple plasma cannons that most species used, the humans fired kinetic projectiles that moved at incredible speeds. Their missiles changed direction in flight, avoiding Crovar defenses. Their energy weapons cut through Crovar armor like it was paper. Damage report, Thyan shouted, as his flagship shook under human fire. Sir, we've lost 40 ships in the first 30 seconds. That's impossible. But the tactical display showed the truth. Human ships were destroying Crovar vessels faster than Do Hyun could count. Each human ship fought like it had a personal grudge against the entire Crovar fleet. Captain Juan Yu commanded the stealth destroyer squadron. His ships appeared behind Crovar formations, destroyed several vessels, and vanished before the enemy could respond. Target their command ships first, he ordered his squadron. Cut off their coordination. Lieutenant Commander Suni Kang led the fighter squadrons. Her small, fast ships swarmed around the massive crowbar vessels like angry insects, hitting weak points and moving too quickly to be targeted. Remember, these are the same creatures that murder civilians, she told her pilots. Show them what real warriors look like. On the Vani homeworld, Tamin and Subin watched the battle in amazement. The humans weren't just winning, they were dominating. How are they doing this? Subin asked. Look at their formation patterns. Tamin pointed at the display. Every ship supports the others. When one ship attacks, two more protected. When they move, it's like watching a dance. Diane's voice came through the communication system. Admiral Kim the Crowbar are trying to retreat to attack our civilian worlds. Understood. Captain Park, deploy the intercept squadrons. Human ships move to block every escape route. The Crowbar found themselves surrounded by an enemy that seemed to predict their every move. Du Hyun was panicking. In 1 hour of fighting, he had lost over 200 ships. The humans had lost only 12. War Commander, we must retreat. Retreat where? They've blocked every exit from the system. It was true. Everywhere Do Hyun looked, human ships waited. These warriors from the Death World had turned the entire star system into a trap. Send a surrender message. Sir, do it. The communication came through to Admiral Kim. Human Admiral, this is War Commander Dohee. We request terms for surrender. Ambassador Nam looked at Admiral Kim. This was the moment that would define humanity's relationship with the galaxy. Your surrender is accepted, Admiral Kim replied. But you will face justice for the worlds you have destroyed. What are your terms? All Crovar forces will withdraw from Vani space immediately. You will provide reparations for the damage you have caused, and you will never attack a peaceful species again. And if we refuse, Admiral Kim's expression grew cold. Then you will learn why Earth is the only planet in the galaxy that evolved predators capable of space travel. Du Hyun looked at his tactical display. 300 of his ships were gone. The humans could destroy the rest whenever they wanted. We accept your terms. The battle was over. But for the Alds, a new chapter was beginning. Tamin received a message from Admiral Kim. The Crovar threat has been eliminated. Would you like to establish formal diplomatic relations with Earth? Subin laughed with relief. Should we tell him that most of the galaxy considers humans to be violent primitives? I think, said Tamin, that the galaxy has been very wrong about humans. Ambassador Nam appeared on their screen. On behalf of Earth, I would like to apologize for the violence you witnessed today. We prefer peaceful solutions, but we will not allow genocide to continue when we have the power to stop it. Ambassador Nam said, Dalmoon, your people traveled 800 light-years to save strangers. You risked your lives for people you had never met. How is this primitive behavior? Perhaps, said Ambassador Nam with a smile, the galaxy needs to update its definition of civilization. 3 days after the battle, the human fleet maintained position around Vaney space, while diplomatic talks began. Admiral Woo Jin Kim found himself dealing with something much more complex than warfare. Galactic politics. Admiral reported Dr. Minho Lee, we're receiving communication requests from 43 different species. They all want to know who we are and how we destroyed the Krovar so easily. Commander Jihosen looked up from his station. Sir, some of these messages are from species that received the original distress call, but chose not to help. Admiral Kim studied the list of incoming communications. The Galactic Council, the Katha Federation, the Dorit Commonwealth, and dozens of others. All of them suddenly very interested in talking to the humans they had previously ignored. What's our priority, Admiral? Asked Captain So Young Park. The Voli come first. They are the ones who needed help. Ambassador Yoonji Nam had spent the last 3 days on the homeworld, learning about their culture and establishing formal diplomatic relations. She appeared on the main screen from the surface. Admiral, the leadership wants to discuss a mutual defense treaty. What kind of treaty? Dune appeared beside Ambassador Nam. The young had become their unofficial liaison with Earth. Admiral Kim, the Krovar Empire still exists. They only lost their attack fleet. Their homeworld has thousands more ships. You're worried they'll come back? Not just them, said Tammin, joining the conversation. The galaxy has many aggressive species. Most peaceful civilizations live in fear because they have no way to defend themselves. Admiral Kim understood the problem. They were asking Earth to become their protector, but accepting meant that humanity would be responsible for defending multiple star systems against any threat. Ambassador Nam, what's your assessment? Sir, the Vani are offering us something unique. They have advanced science and technology, but they've never used it for weapons. They can help us improve our medical technology, environmental systems, and space travel. Captain Park raised a concern. Admiral, if we agree to protect the Vani, other species will ask for the same protection. How many worlds can we defend? It was a good question. Earth's fleet was powerful, but the galaxy was enormous. Dr. Lee, what intelligence do we have on other aggressive species? Several, sir. The Krovar are actually one of the smaller military powers. There's the Vorth and Hegemony, the Red Claw Syndicate, and the Destroyer Cult. Most peaceful species pay tribute to avoid being attacked. Tribute? Yes, sir. They give up resources, technology, and sometimes people to avoid military destruction. Admiral Kim felt anger rising in his chest. Earth had fought 2 world wars to stop exactly this kind of behavior. Bullies taking what they wanted from the weak. Admiral Dune interrupted his thoughts. There's something else you should know. The Galactic Council is demanding that Earth appear before them to explain our actions. Demanding? Ambassador Nam nodded. They claim we violated galactic law by interfering in a local conflict without permission. Captain Park looked confused. Permission? We stopped a genocide. Apparently, sir, the Galactic Council has rules about military intervention. They say we should have asked for authorization before attacking the Krovar. Admiral Kim studied the faces around him. These alien bureaucrats had received the same distress call that Earth had. They knew what the Krovar were doing, and they had chosen to do nothing. Ambassador Num, send a reply to the Galactic Council. Tell them that Earth doesn't ask permission to stop genocide, sir. That might create diplomatic problems. Good. Maybe it's time the galaxy had some diplomatic problems. While the humans debated their next move, word of the battle was spreading through known space. On dozens of worlds, the story was the same. The violent primitives from the Deathworld had done what the entire Galactic Council couldn't do. On the door at Homeworld, Prime Minister Hunu Kang was meeting with his military advisors. Prime Minister, should we contact the humans directly? What would we say? That we were too afraid to help the Vani ourselves? Sir, the humans destroyed 500 Krovar ships in one battle. They have technology we've never seen. More importantly, added his defense minister, they use that technology to save innocent people, not to conquer or intimidate. Similar conversations were happening across the galaxy. Species that had lived in fear for generations were wondering if the humans might be willing to help them too. But not everyone was happy about Earth's intervention. On the Krovar homeworld, Supreme War Leader Sang-hun was planning revenge. Do-Hyun had returned in disgrace, bringing news of the devastating defeat. These humans destroyed our attack fleet, but they showed mercy, Do-Hee reported. They could have killed all of us, but they allowed surrender. Mercy is weakness, Sang-Hyume replied. We will use their soft hearts against them. War Leader, with respect, I fought them. Their mercy isn't weakness. It's confidence. They know they can destroy us whenever they choose. Sang-hun struck Dune across the face. The Krovar Empire does not fear any species. We will gather our full fleet and crush these humans. But privately, Sang-hun was worried. The humans had appeared from nowhere with advanced technology and superior tactics. How many other surprises might the galaxy hold? Back in space, Admiral Kim made his decision. Ambassador Nam, contact the leadership. Tell them Earth accepts their offer of a mutual defense treaty. And the Galactic Council, we'll meet with them, but we go as equals, not as subjects requesting permission. Admiral, Captain Park warned, we're changing the balance of power in the galaxy. There will be consequences. There are always consequences for doing the right thing, Captain. The question is whether we can live with the consequences of doing nothing. Da-Woon spoke up from the planet's surface. Admiral Kim, if Earth protects the Volani, other peaceful species will ask for help too. We'll deal with each situation as it comes. What if there are too many requests? What if you can't help everyone? Admiral Kim thought about this carefully. Earth couldn't save every species in the galaxy, but they could try to save some. Duh. There's an old saying on Earth, evil succeeds when good people do nothing. We can't save everyone, but we won't ignore people who need help. The next day, Earth and the Volani signed their first interstellar treaty. The document was simple but revolutionary. Earth would protect Vani space from military attack. In return, the Anani would share their scientific knowledge and help Earth understand galactic politics. News of the treaty spread quickly. Within hours, Earth received requests for similar agreements from 12 different species. Admiral reported Dr. Lee, most of these requests are from species that the aggressive powers have been threatening for years. What about the Galactic Council? They're demanding an immediate meeting. They say Earth is destabilizing galactic law and order. Admiral Kim looked at the tactical display showing his fleet. 800 ships that had been built in secret, crewed by humans who had never fought aliens before. 3 days ago, they had been Earth's hidden defense force. Now they were the foundation of a new kind of galactic order. Captain Park, how long would it take to reach the Galactic Council chambers? 4 days, sir, then we go to meet them. It's time the galaxy learned that Earth doesn't hide from bullies, whether they're military empires or political bureaucrats. As the human fleet prepared to leave Vani space, Tamman sent one final message. Admiral Kim, before you came, we thought we were going to die. Our children, our art, our entire civilization would have been lost. You saved us, not because you had to, but because it was right. The galaxy needs more species like humanity. Admiral Kim replied simply. The galaxy has more species like humanity. They've just been afraid to act. That's about to change. The alarm screamed through the Volani Communication Center. Tamman's 6 eyes focused on the screen in front of him, his blue skin turning pale. The numbers were bad, very bad. Subin, come here quickly, he called to his assistant. Subin rushed over, her thin legs carrying her across the metal floor. She looked at the data and her breath caught. Are those ships? Yes. Krovar ships, hundreds of them. The Krovar Empire had been moving through their galaxy for months. Every world they touched became silent. No survivors, no prisoners. Just empty planets and floating debris where cities used to be. Tamman had hoped their peaceful confederation would be ignored. Thea had never hurt anyone. They grew food, made art, and studied the stars. Their 12 worlds were home to billions of gentle beings who had never known war. How long do we have? Subin asked. Tamman checked the scanner readings again. 3 days, maybe 4 if they stopped to destroy the outer colonies first. Subin sat down hard. Her people had no weapons that could stop the Krovar. Their ships were built for exploration, not fighting. Though Vani had always believed that being peaceful would keep them safe, they had been wrong. We need to send the distress signal, Tamman said. To who? The Galactic Council voted not to interfere. They said the Crovar are too strong to everyone. Every world, every species, every ship in range. Someone has to help us. Subin pulled up the communication array. The signal will reach 47 different star systems. But Tammin, most of them are afraid of the Crovar too. Then we pray that someone isn't afraid. On the edge of their system, Dohi stood on the bridge of his massive warship. The Crovar war commander was 7 feet tall and covered in black armor. His red eyes scanned the peaceful worlds ahead. These creatures have no defenses, reported his tactical officer. Good. The Empire requires their resources. Begin the cleansing. Do-hyun had destroyed 16 worlds in the past year. Each time it became easier. The galaxy was full of weak species who had forgotten how to fight. They would beg and cry, but they never resisted properly. Thay would be no different. Back on the communication world, Timon finished writing the message. His hands shook as he typed. This is the Volani Confederation. We are under attack by the Crovar Empire. Our people are peaceful. We have no weapons to defend ourselves. Billions of innocent lives will be lost. Please, anyone who receives this message, we need help. We need it now. He attached their location, population data, and everything about the approaching Crovar fleet. Send it on all frequencies, he told Subin. Sending now. The message shot out into space at light speed. It would take hours to reach the nearest systems, days to reach the distant ones. Across the galaxy, species received the message. The bird-like Keitha shook their heads sadly, but did nothing. The crystalline Zephyrite felt sorry, but knew they couldn't fight the Crovar. The mammalian Dorit sent medical supplies, but no ships. Most civilizations had the same response. They felt bad for the Vani, but helping them meant facing the Crovar Empire. No one wanted that war. The message reached 46 different star systems. In each one, leaders made the same choice. It was too dangerous to help. But the 47th system was different. The signal traveled for 3 days before reaching a small yellow star in the outer spiral arm. The third planet from that star was blue and green, covered in water and clouds. Most galactic species avoided this world. Their databases listed it as a death world, a planet so dangerous that visiting it usually meant death. The creatures living there were violent, aggressive, and constantly fighting each other. The planet was called Earth. Lieutenant Commander Juan Park was working the night shift at the Deep Space Monitoring Station when the signal came in. He almost missed it. The message was weak after traveling so far. But when the computer translated it into Korean, he sat up straight. Commander Lee, you need to see this. Minho Lee came over and read the message. His face grew serious. How far away are they? Taekere. About 800 light-years. And this Crovar Empire? Unknown. But if they're attacking peaceful people. Minho shook his head. Get me Admiral Kim on the secure line. 2 hours later, Admiral Woojin Kim stood in the war room deep under Seoul. Around the table sat the most important military leaders on Earth. General Ha-Yin Choi, Dr. Minho Lee, and Captain So-Young Park all studied the alien message. Let me understand this, said General Choi. An alien species is asking for help because another alien species wants to kill all of them. That's correct, said Dr. Lee. The Vani seem to be herbivores, peaceful farmers and artists. The Crovar are described as a militaristic empire that destroys entire worlds. And 46 other civilizations got this message but chose not to help, added Admiral Kim. Captain Park leaned forward. Sir, we've been preparing for first contact for decades. This isn't how we planned it. No, agreed Admiral Kim. We planned to meet peaceful explorers, or maybe defend Earth from invaders. We never planned to save strangers from genocide. The room was quiet for a long moment. Admiral said, General Choi, what does your gut tell you? Woojin Kim had served in the military for 30 years. He had seen war, peace, and everything in between. He knew that some decisions couldn't be made with logic alone. My gut tells me that if we can help billions of innocent people and choose not to, we're no better than the species trying to kill them. The logistics are insane, warned Captain Park. 800 light-years. We'd need the entire fleet. Then we send the entire fleet. Dr. Lee raised his hand. Sir, we should consider what this means. If we intervene, we reveal Earth's capabilities to the galaxy. Our secret development program, our military strength, everything. Good, said Admiral Kim. Maybe it's time the galaxy knew that Earth doesn't ignore genocide. 4 hours later, the decision was made. Earth would respond to the Vani distress call, but they wouldn't send aid ships or medical supplies like the other species. They would send an armada. Back in Vani space, Tamman watched the scanners. The Krovar fleet was closer now, less than 2 days away. Subin sat beside him, both of them hoping for a miracle that seemed less likely every hour. "Any responses to our message?" she asked. "Some medical supplies from the Dorits, food packages from 3 other species, but no military help." Subin closed her eyes. "So, this is how we end." Tamman kept watching the long-range scanners. Somewhere out there, the message was still traveling to distant stars. Maybe, just maybe, someone would come. He didn't know that 800 light-years away, the largest war fleet in human history was already beginning to move. The Galactic Council chambers had never seen anything like the human fleet. 800 ships appeared in formation around the neutral station, their weapons powered down, but clearly visible. Every species in the galaxy was watching. Admiral Woo Jin Kim walked through the station corridors with Ambassador Yoonji Nam and a small security detail. The corridors were built for dozens of different alien species, with varying gravity and atmosphere sections. "Admiral," Ambassador Nam whispered, "remember that the Council has been governing galactic politics for over 1,000 years. They don't like changes to their authority. They've been governing, but have they been leading?" Admiral Kim replied. They entered the main chamber, a massive circular room with representatives from 67 different species. The humans were given seats in the center, surrounded by aliens, who watched them with everything from curiosity to fear. Council Prime Yongu, a tall crystalline being, called the session to order. "The Galactic Council recognizes the delegation from Earth. Thank you, Council Prime. I am Admiral Woo Jun Kim, representing the United Earth Defense Force. Admiral Kim, you stand accused of violating the Galactic Non-Interference Doctrine. You attacked the Krovar Empire without Council authorization. How do you answer?" Admiral Kim stood slowly. Around him, 67 different species waited for his response. Council Prime Earth received a distress signal from the Anani Confederation. They were facing genocide. We responded. The proper response was to bring the matter before this council for debate and authorization. How long would that have taken? Council Prime Yongsu seemed surprised by the question. Such matters require careful consideration, perhaps 6 to 8 months for full debate. In 6 months, 12 billion Vani would have been dead. A murmur went through the chamber. Representative Bitna of the Katha Federation spoke up. "Admiral, the Council's procedures exist to prevent galactic wars. What you did was reckless. What we did was necessary. You don't understand galactic politics," added Representative Mong Su of the Dorit Commonwealth. "The Krovar Empire has legitimate territorial claims." Admiral Kim's expression grew cold. "Legitimate territorial claims. They were committing genocide. That's their cultural method of expansion." Representative Mayong Su stammered. "And it's our cultural method to stop genocide when we encounter it." Council Prime Yong Su regained control of the chamber. "Admiral Kim, Earth cannot simply decide galactic law based on your cultural preferences. We're not deciding galactic law. We're following universal moral law. There is no universal moral law. Each species has its own ethics and methods." Admiral Kim looked around the chamber at the representatives of dozens of civilizations. Most of them avoided his eyes. "Council Prime, how many of you received the distress call?" Silence filled the chamber. 46 species received that message. 46 civilizations heard billions of innocent people asking for help. "How many of you sent military aid?" More silence. "None of you. Not one ship, not one weapon. You sent medical supplies and food while knowing that everyone would be dead before it arrived." Representative Bitna tried to defend the council. "Admiral, we sent humanitarian aid. The council voted against military intervention because it would have escalated the conflict." Escalated? The Vani had no weapons. What exactly would have escalated? Ambassador Nam stepped forward. "If I may, Council Prime, Earth understands your concerns about maintaining stability, but we believe there's a difference between stability and paralysis." "Paralysis?" Council Prime. Yongsu's crystalline form flickered with anger. "Yes," Admiral Kim said firmly. "For 1,000 years, this council has watched aggressive species destroy peaceful ones. You've maintained order by allowing the strong to take what they want from the weak. That's not true. Then why do peaceful species pay tribute to avoid attack? Why do aggressive empires expand freely while this council debates?" Why did 46 civilizations ignore a cry for help? Representative Ensu of the Zephyrite Assembly spoke up. Admiral Kim, you don't understand. The galaxy is vast and complex. Some conflicts cannot be prevented. This one could have been prevented. Any one of you could have stopped it. But you chose not to. We chose to follow established law. You chose to follow convenient law. Laws that let you feel civilized while innocent people died. The chamber erupted in angry voices. Species shouted at each other in dozens of languages. Council Prime Yong-Su struggled to restore order. Enough. The crystalline being's voice echoed through the chamber. Admiral Kim, Earth's actions have destabilized centuries of careful diplomatic balance. The Krovar Empire is threatening retaliation against any species that supported your intervention. Let them threaten. You don't understand. This could lead to galactic war. Admiral Kim stood and faced the entire chamber. Council Prime, members of the Galactic Council, let me be very clear about Earth's position. The chamber fell silent. We don't want war. We prefer peace, but we will not allow genocide to continue while we have the power to stop it. If that destabilizes your diplomatic balance, then your balance was built on the suffering of innocent people. Admiral Representative Bitna said desperately, what you're proposing would change everything. Good. Everything needs to change. Council Prime Yang Su tried one more approach. Admiral Kim, surely we can reach a compromise. Earth could become a member of the Council. You could work within our system to create gradual reforms. And while we debate gradual reforms, how many more species will face extinction? That's the price of maintaining galactic stability. The words hung in the air. Every being in the chamber realized what had just been said. The price of your stability, Admiral Kim said quietly, is other people's lives. Ambassador Nam activated a holographic display. Council members, in the past 5 years, the Krovar Empire alone has destroyed 14 civilizations. The Voran hegemony has enslaved 6 species. The Red Claw Syndicate has forced tribute from 32 worlds. Where was galactic stability for them? Representative Mongu looked uncomfortable. Those are regrettable losses. Regrettable. Admiral Kim's voice rose. Regrettable. Billions of sentient beings are dead, because this council chose to maintain the status quo instead of protecting the innocent. Admiral Kim Council Prime Yong-Su said formally, Earth is hereby ordered to withdraw from all non-human star systems and submit to council oversight of your military capabilities. Admiral Kim looked around the chamber one more time. Then he smiled, and somehow that was more frightening than his anger had been. Council Prime, Earth respectfully declines. You cannot decline a council order. We just did. This means Earth is in violation of galactic law. Your galactic law allows genocide and calls it stability. Your galactic law ignores cries for help and calls it non-inference. Your galactic law protects the strong and abandons the weak. Admiral Kim turned toward the exit. Earth chooses different laws, universal laws, moral laws. Where are you going? Council Prime Yong-Su demanded to build a better galaxy. Anyone who wants to join us is welcome. As the human delegation left the chamber, chaos erupted. Some species demanded military action against Earth. Others quietly wondered if the humans might be right. But in the corridor outside, Ambassador Nam caught up with Admiral Kim. Sir, we just declared independence from galactic civilization. No, Ambassador, we just declared that there's a difference between civilization and bureaucracy. What happens now? Admiral Kim looked back at the chamber where 67 species were arguing about what to do with the upstart humans. Now we prove that protecting the innocent is more important than maintaining the status quo. And we hope that some of these species remember what they once believed before they became afraid. As the human fleet prepared to leave the council station, Admiral Kim received a secure communication. The image showed a representative from the Dorit Commonwealth, but not Representative Mongu. Admiral Kim, this is Commander Suk Jin, of the Dora Defense Force. I wanted you to know that not all of us agree with our government's position. Commander, sir, there are many species in the galaxy who believe what you said today. We're tired of watching innocents die while the Council debates. If Earth is serious about protecting peaceful civilizations, we're serious, Commander. Then you won't be fighting alone. The transmission ended, but Admiral Kim knew that everything had changed. Earth had forced the galaxy to choose sides. Some would choose the safety of the status quo. Others would choose to fight for something better.